Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. What are we going to be doing today? I can tell you now, we're going to be converting this machine. Now first of all guys, let me tell you, this is the Excalibur 2. Fantastic machine, absolutely brilliant. If you want an underwater metal detector, get out there and buy one. This is what you need. However, if you're like me, I like to use it on land as well as in the water. This is actually primarily designed for underwater, but of course you can use it on land. It comes with a short shaft and a long shaft, extension shaft at the end. So you get one that's kind of about that long and one that's this long. The problem with the shaft is it's too short for me. Even when this is fully extended, and even fully extended, it's far too short for me. It's all right if you're up to about 5'10". After that, the coil's too close to your feet, so you tend to move the coil out and stoop over a little bit. And after a couple of hours of using it, you end up with a bad back. So I want to fix that problem today. I want to make this a much lighter and easier machine to use. And of course, I'm going to show you every step of the way. The other issue that I find with the Excalibur is the grip. Now, bear in mind, like I said, you're paying a lot of money for this machine, but it comes with a very cheap, nasty foam grip. That's not even fixed. It moves around. It just looks cheap. It feels cheap. You know, it's not very good at all, to be honest, guys. And you know, the grip and the shaft length problem is something that I believe Minelab should be addressing in the manufacturing process. But you know, who am I? I mean, yeah. So the other issue is when you're, like I said, when you're in water, it's neutrally buoyant because it's got air in here and air in here. But when you're on land, it's very, very heavy. It's almost twice the weight of my other metal detector that I use. And, you know, I end up with severe backache and a wrist ache. The reason why I end up with a wrist ache is the angle of the grip as well. You're kind of holding it with your wrist bent like that. And after a period of time, your muscle here really starts to hurt. In my opinion, it should have a handle shaft. A grip, kind of that you grab hold of that way rather than that way, if you see what I mean. But yeah, so I'm going to convert this machine into something that I think is better, lighter and easier to use, and I'm going to show you every step of the way. So first of all, let's look at what you're going to need for this conversion. First of all, you are going to need some 1.5 inch bolts with some wing nuts. You're going to need some penny washers. You're going to need a webbing belt of some description. It doesn't have to be a webbing belt, but you know, this is the kind of the best thing that I found is suitable for it. I picked this up from the Army and Navy surplus store, and I believe it cost me around £5. The bolts and the washers and the wing nuts cost me around about £4. And you're also going to need one of these. Yes, a crutch. These are aluminium. They're really, really lightweight. And they also have the holes for adjusting the length of your shaft, just the same as the Excalibur does. Now, all these items here cost me less than £20. In fact, this one I got for free. So it cost me £5, actually about £9 something it cost me to completely convert, as opposed to quite a considerable sum if you buy the actual conversion kit on eBay or something like that. You know, they can be really expensive, you know, like the carbon fiber conversion kits that you can get. But you're talking like, you know, £100, I guess, somewhere around there. But yeah, that's the only items you need. You need one of these. You can get these on Facebook. Just go onto Facebook Marketplace and you'll see loads of these for sale. Or you can do what I did and just went round the rubbish areas, and you always see these things thrown away everywhere. Army and Navy surplus stores, get yourself a webbing belt, and nip to the local hardware and get yourself some nuts, wing nuts and washers. So that's all the equipment you need to make this conversion. Obviously you need tools, you need a drill, you need a file. What else do you need? That's pretty much it, I think. Yeah, a drill and drill bits, of course. Yeah. Okay, so now let's strip down the Excalibur and show you how I'm going to do this conversion. So let's start by stripping down the Excalibur. We take the battery pack off. They're a little bit fiddly sometimes, but oh, it'll all come off. There we go, that one, and the battery pack. There we go. Battery pack. The main. And this is the bit here that we're getting rid of. We're keeping this bit here, so no need to take the coil off or anything like that. We're just simply taking this piece off here. He says simply. Something along here. A little bit tight, a bit of a squeeze. That's tough. There we go. We're stripping it down to that much and we're discarding this bit. We're actually not discarding this. You want to keep this bit because if you want to sell the machine or you don't like the conversion, you want to put it back to the original machine, then obviously you need to keep this bit for that. So the next stage is to dismantle your crutch. Take this bit off. We do actually want this piece. Don't throw this piece away, but this is now going to replace our main shaft, or main handle should I say, this piece here. And this one we're going to use that for something different in a minute. I'll show you that in a second. But this one now will just simply slot back over the other machine, and click into place. Now you'll notice straight away it's wobbly. Don't worry, we're going to fix that in a minute. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But just for now, we're just going to stick that on there. Already we've made the machine a much longer. Okay. So let's put it on the next one up actually. Yeah, put it on that one. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is to cut a piece of this one, and this piece is actually going to fit inside there like that, and then that one is going to go on there like that, and then that's going to be attached to the, obviously that's going to be cut there and cut there. That then is again going to be attached to the belt, and then this will then go on your back, leaving a very lightweight machine here. So in order to do that, you need to mark where the holes go in this piece here, and then cut it to the right length. So let's do that now. In fact, I've already done that with another one, so let me just grab that a second. So here's the one I've already cut, and you can see I've already got the holes in it. So once you've marked it, you drill your holes through. Holes need to be just big enough for the bolts to go through. And now let's put it all together. So let's just move that out the way a second and bring this a little bit closer. Put my bolts there. Okay, so the next thing you need is your webbing belt. And that goes that way, so that's the outside. You're going to need to feed your bolts through some holes, so you need to make 3 holes in the belt. The 3 holes should correspond with the 3 holes in your Excalibur battery pack and main control panel. Feed the nuts through from the inside to the outside. Just quickly do that now, or try to. Hopefully I've made them big enough. Yes, I have. So there's one. And the next one. Oh, they're a little bit tight, the holes, but I think I've got them. 2. And 3. So there we go, it looks something like that. Okay, Okay, what we're going to do now is, so that's the outside of the belt, so that will actually go on your back. I'm putting it on my front just so I can show you, but that would actually be around the back. But so yeah, it would go something like that. So the next thing we need to do is put this on there, like that. Put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing here. Make sure the holes line up. That's it, I think. Let me just check. Yeah, holes line up. And then this one, and then holes don't line up on that one, so I've done something. Oh, I see what I've done wrong. Need to line up on both sides. Yeah, so it looks something like that. I don't know if you can see that. Put the pole inside, so the holes go right through. The bolts will go through there, and through there, and through there. We need the battery pack to go on as well, like that. Making sure the bolts, holes line up, they do, yeah. And then you need to feed the bolts, I'm going to sit down for this one. You need to feed the bolts through those holes. Somehow. So I brought you in a little bit closer here, guys, so you can see what's going on. And in between takes, I actually took out those bolts because I forgot to put the penny washers in the back of the belt. This is to prevent the screws from pulling through the belt over time. So you can actually put penny washers on the other side as well of the belt if you wanted to, and you could also put penny washers on the top here if you wanted to. Problem is these particular bolts are too short for that, they're 1.5 inches. If you wanted to put those extra penny washers in, you would have to have probably 1.75 inches. So the next stage is obviously just to simply do up the wing nuts. Don't over tighten them, you don't want to break the plastic on the detector itself. And that's that stage done. Now complete, and I'll show you what the whole thing looks like when it's actually on your body. Actually guys, there's one more thing I need to do before I show it to you on my body, and that's this little thing here. Do you remember the wobble you get here that I showed you at the beginning of the video? This is how I get rid of it. Basically, this is a piece of plastic from the lid of a Tupperware jar. And you can see I've kind of cut it into a square, and then I've cut the square at an angle each side. And I'll show you what I do with this. It's quite thick, this stuff, and very bendy, very strong Tupperware plastic. And I'll show you what I do with this now to combat that movement in the stem. I simply push this end into there like that, and then I force this plastic, and you really have to force it in as hard as you can, all the way up like that, and then that completely eliminates any movement from the stem, and it'll stay in there permanently on its own. You don't need to glue it in there or anything like that. It won't fall out. So that's how you eliminate the stem movement problem. So there it is, guys. You can now see I've got a very long shaft. I don't have to bend over to detect anymore because the coil is now quite all away from my feet. I no longer have a bent wrist, so it's not going to cause fatigue in my wrist. The arm piece here actually swivels. So, you know, if I'm underwater, for example, and I need to let go of my detector, I can do that quite safely and still hold my detector and not lose my detector. And as you can see behind me, all my control panel and pretty much all the weight for the machine is now on my back. I've left myself plenty of lead here so I can really stretch out with the detector if I have to. The other thing is, if you don't really want it to look like a a crutch with a coil on the end, you can then rough this up with some sandpaper and then spray it with some enamel paint, which is quite salt resistant. And yeah, you've now got a very lightweight, very easy to use, very comfortable Minelab Excalibur 2 with a difference. I like it, it's really comfortable, it's really lightweight, it's nice and long for tall people. You can adjust it still to any size you like, and I highly recommend you do this conversion. So there it is. If you like what you see today, please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell notification button. If you've never watched any of my videos before, what I do is treasure hunting. I do scuba diving, I do magnet fishing, metal detecting, scrap metal collection, a bit of everything really. Anything that's pretty much discarded or lost, I go out and try and find it and flip it for some money, basically. So yeah, if you like my channel, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like and hit the bell notification button. And thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.